This person is worried about you, and yesterday they contacted a powerful person for something concerning your life. Archangel Michael says, you are walking through a season where unseen movements are taking place in silence, and yesterday marked a turning point you never expected. A person, whose heart has been restless with concern for you, reached out to someone powerful. That step was not ordinary, it was the beginning of a chain reaction meant to influence your destiny. You might feel the air shifting around you, like a quiet storm preparing to break, though nothing has yet fully revealed itself. The person who took this action was driven by urgency, not casual thought. Their words carried weight, and their intent was directly tied to your name, your future, and the situation surrounding your life right now. Every move made yesterday is echoing today, though you may not yet hear it. There is energy in motion, heavy and unrelenting, and its effects will reach you soon. The involvement of a powerful figure in your matters is not something you should take lightly, for once authority steps into private concerns, nothing remains small anymore. Archangel Michael says, the truth is unfolding behind curtains, and you are standing at the edge of revelation. What was once hidden is being carried forward, brought to the surface by the courage of the one who could not remain silent about you. This is not coincidence, this is alignment, and it is already in motion. Type Amen 333 to seal yourself under protection now. The night before yesterday carried whispers of hesitation, yet yesterday turned whispers into action. The person who worried about you could no longer sit in silence. They found themselves standing before a powerful authority, confessing details, opening doors, and laying your situation bare for judgment. The weight of their decision was not theirs alone, it carried divine timing. What they said could not be undone, because once spoken to the right ears, words transform into decisions. You may not know the fullness yet, but what began yesterday will soon enter your present like an uninvited guest. At first glance, you might think this was betrayal, but it was not. This was not done to harm you, it was done because the pressure around your life had grown too thick to ignore. They knew something dangerous was circling you, and their worry birthed this bold action. The powerful person who now holds your name in their awareness is not blind. Their gaze is sharp, their reach is strong, and their influence stretches further than you can imagine. To have them alerted about your situation means your life has been placed in a place of exposure, where nothing remains untouched. Type Amen 444 if you believe protection is stronger than exposure. Yesterday was not random, it was calculated. The timing aligned with certain events that were already building pressure in unseen ways. When concern turns into action, it signals that the spiritual atmosphere around you is heavy with purpose. The powerful person contacted was not a stranger to influence. They are accustomed to control, accustomed to moving situations from silence into sound, from secrecy into confrontation. That is why what was shared with them yesterday is not small, it is a matter they will not ignore. Archangel Michael says, the concern around you is being lifted into higher levels of decision-making. You are not only being watched, you are being discussed. Conversations have begun where your name is the center, and these discussions will not stay quiet for long. The actions of the person who worried about you came from deep emotion. They could no longer carry the burden of silence, so they placed the matter into hands greater than their own. And now those hands are shaping movements that will soon enter your path, unshakable and undeniable. Type Amen 555 to stay aligned under divine light as these movements approach. The day yesterday carried a spiritual weight, and the alignment was not accidental. Even the atmosphere seemed to hold its breath as the message about you was delivered to someone whose authority cannot be ignored. What is whispered in secret soon echoes in halls of power. This action was born out of both fear and love, a strange mixture that propelled someone to speak when they otherwise would have stayed quiet. They chose risk over comfort, urgency over hesitation. And now, because of that, your life is standing at a threshold that cannot be avoided. The powerful person who now knows of your situation has influence in realms beyond your reach. Their interest means your life is on the table of higher judgment. It means that decisions about you are being weighed, shaped, and shifted without your immediate awareness. Archangel Michael says, "The hand of heaven is weaving even in the chaos." Do not think this is random, it is divinely orchestrated to move you from where you are into where you must be. But the path between the two is not smooth, it is filled with turbulence. Type Amen 666 if you trust the divine hand guiding the turbulence into breakthrough. The echo of yesterday is still vibrating in unseen realms, carrying your name through channels you did not expect. The words spoken by the one who worried about you are no longer private, they are lodged in the memory of a powerful individual whose attention rarely misses its mark. Once such attention is captured, nothing remains hidden for long. This was not a casual conversation, it was heavy, deliberate, and filled with urgency. The person who spoke could feel a weight pressing upon them, a spiritual burden they could no longer ignore. Their decision was born in a moment, but its consequences will ripple through your life in ways you cannot yet measure. Archangel Michael says, "This moment is not about fear but about revelation." What has been in the dark around your life is being brought forward. The powerful person now aware of your name holds a key that can unlock doors, both protective and exposing, depending on what unfolds next. Yesterday has changed everything. It marked the line between secrecy and exposure, between silence and action. The one who carried your burden has shifted the atmosphere around you, and you are about to walk through a reality that is no longer the same as it was before. Type Amen 777 to seal your steps as you walk forward in this shifting reality. The conversations that began yesterday did not end when they were spoken, they are still alive, still circulating. The powerful person did not dismiss them but instead allowed them to take root. And once rooted, such matters grow quickly, spreading into networks of influence that stretch far beyond the room where the first words were shared. You may not feel it yet, but a spiritual tension is surrounding you. Decisions are being weighed, strategies are being shaped, and you are at the center. The concern of one person has drawn an entire current of energy toward you, and now there is no turning back. The power involved is not passive, it is active and unrelenting. This person has the reach to touch areas of your life that you thought untouchable. They are capable of shifting what you thought was secure and exposing what you hoped would remain hidden. Archangel Michael says, "Heaven watches as earthly power intersects with divine order." This is a moment where both human concern and spiritual authority are moving together. Nothing in your life will remain untouched by this merging of energies. Type Amen 888 if you receive divine protection while earthly powers move around your name. What was whispered yesterday has become a force today. The very atmosphere around you is holding its breath, waiting for the results of the conversation that cannot be undone. There is no way to silence words once they are spoken to authority, they take on a life of their own, beyond the control of the one who released them. The person who worried about you is still carrying a weight, but now it is different. Their burden has shifted from silence to exposure, from holding the matter privately to placing it in hands they believe are capable of acting. They know what they have done cannot be reversed. The powerful individual who listened yesterday is not indifferent. Their response may not yet be visible to you, but in silence they are preparing. They are watching, calculating, and considering what steps must come next in light of what was revealed. Archangel Michael says, your life is in a delicate balance, yet protection surrounds you. Even as human power stirs, divine presence anchors you. Do not fear the exposure, for what is meant to harm will be turned to shield you. Type Amen 999 to align yourself with divine shielding as the unseen becomes seen. Archangel Michael says, keep your heartbeat steady and your spirit alert as the next layer of this unfolding truth begins to drop into place. A current of change is moving toward you like a tide that cannot be turned back, and it carries both challenge and opportunity in equal measure. Stay rooted in what you know to be true while the world rearranges around the announcement that was made on your behalf. The person who acted yesterday is now watching the ripple they set loose, feeling both relief and a new kind of fear because the stage is larger than they imagined. Their courage to speak has called others into the conversation, and those others bring power, resources, and expectations. Your name is threading through rooms of influence where decisions are fast and consequences are deep. Everything ahead will demand clarity from you, even if clarity comes slowly. Doors you thought closed are nudging open to reveal paper, signatures, and faces that were once anonymous to your life. This is not merely movement, it is a restructuring that will ask you to stand and be seen in ways you never requested. What happened yesterday placed you on a map no longer invisible, and now the map is being read aloud by people who make things happen with a nod or a pen. The resonance of their attention will press on schedules, on relationships, and on outcomes that once felt secure. Brace for motion because the next weeks will be where private tension becomes public momentum. Type Amen 111 to claim steadiness now as the map opens and hands move the pieces. Do not mistake this storm for empty noise because influence does not speak in whispers for long. It escalates into schedules, phone calls, and people showing up in places your life intersects. Every appointment, every unexpected message, and every rearranged plan may be a response to what was said yesterday. Where exposure finds you, protection is also being arranged, though it may appear in forms you do not recognize. Allies who are quiet until now will emerge with timing that seems uncanny, offering counsel, shelter, or a sign that everything unfolding has intention behind it. The balance between harm and help exists now more clearly than ever because each move invites a countermove from unseen forces. Your inner life will be tested in the coming days because pressure reveals the architecture of the heart. In moments of confusion, listen for the quiet thread of truth that ties your actions to purpose, and let that thread guide choices that will carry weight later. The courage you hold in small private spaces will become the foundation for how you receive the public shifts that are approaching. A hand that moves behind the scenes may be firm, but it is not without mercy. People of authority can be instruments of correction and also of restoration, depending on the posture brought before them. What matters most now is the posture you choose to inhabit, for posture determines how authority speaks into your situation and whether their action wounds or heals. Type Amen 222 to align your posture with protection as authority moves through your life. Expect invitations that appear like interruptions because the world that was listening yesterday will now want to meet with you in person, on paper, and in ceremony. These meetings are not trivial, they will shape reputation, resources, and the direction of relationships that matter to your future. Move with honest steadiness and resist the urge to hide. Transparency will serve as armor when the stakes increase. When scrutiny arrives, keep attention on essentials and leave sensational noise to the crowds. Those who seek to dramatize your story will find their own motives exposed by time, and the truth will distill itself when you remain consistent in integrity. The very consistency you cultivate in these hours will be what anchors you when tides shift again. There are people watching who will attempt to leverage yesterday's disclosure for gain, but there are also hands that move to protect you without making a spectacle. The economy of influence is mysterious, and sometimes protection travels in silence rather than in headlines. Be grateful for those quiet guardians and recognize their work even if they ask for no thanks. A bold action was taken out of love and fear, and both energies are complex in their effects. Love compelled someone to speak, while fear begged them to act before it was too late. Both forces combined to change your trajectory, and now you are invited to steward that change with wisdom born from calm rather than reaction. Type Amen 333 to receive the blessing of steadiness and to walk the next steps with courage. The days ahead will reveal patterns that were hidden by convenience and avoidance. Contracts, conversations, and choices will disclose loyalties and breakages that existed beneath the surface of everyday life. Pay attention to how people respond when called to account because their responses will show you where to place trust and where to build boundaries. This turning will call for decisions you may not have planned for, and you will discover reserves of resourcefulness within yourself that surprise you. Practical arrangements will need your attention, and organization will be your ally against chaos. Gather the documents, names, and dates that matter, and present them with calm authority when called upon to do so. Your peace is not given by circumstance but chosen by posture. Keep returning to a posture of steady breath and clear intent, because peace in action is different from peace in absence of motion. Choose to act from clarity rather than react from panic, and the narrative around you will begin to bend toward resolution. Those who spoke yesterday did so because they loved the idea of safety for you, and their action was fueled by the conviction that something must change. Their choice to involve power was a gamble grounded in hope that intervention would steer outcomes away from harm. Honor their courage with gratitude and respond with responsibility because both sides of this movement deserve accountability. Type Amen 444 to honor the courage that birthed the movement and to welcome responsible restoration. A season of testing often precedes a season of release, and what is happening now carries the potential for both. The powerful person who now knows your name will act, and their actions will reveal motives, allies, and doors you can use for rebuilding. Look for openings that lead to steadier ground, even if the path to them is narrow or unexpected. When repair is necessary, let it be thorough rather than quick. Superficial fixes will not withstand the scrutiny that follows influence, so choose deep work that addresses root causes rather than surface symptoms. The investment you make now in repair will pay dividends in later seasons of peace. There will be voices that try to pull you into performing for approval or into defending in ways that deplete you. Refuse those scripts and instead speak with measured clarity when required, and remain silent when silence is stronger. Energy conserved now will become the fuel you need when truth finally lands in full view. The movement that began yesterday is larger than a single conversation. It is an opening for transformation that will test your capacity for trust and for discernment. Move with courage, with paperwork in order, and with a heart that stays soft even while it stands firm. The tapestry being woven includes threads of trial and threads of triumph, and your role is to keep walking with integrity. Type Amen 555 if you accept the path of integrity and choose steady courage over frantic reaction. Archangel Michael says, yesterday has already shifted the ground beneath your feet, and whether you realize it or not, the atmosphere around you is no longer the same. The moment your name entered the ear of the powerful person, it was marked, stored, and placed on a path where action is inevitable. From that moment forward, your life stepped into a new current where silence cannot exist anymore. This is why you may feel unsettled, even if nothing visible has happened yet. The invisible realm always stirs before the visible responds, and that stirring is what you are sensing. It is not imagination, it is the sound of movement circling your name, carrying weight, decisions, and unseen preparation. The one who worried about you has now placed you in a process that cannot be reversed. Their concern translated into action, and that action created a ripple that keeps spreading. Whether you are ready or not, this ripple is going to touch every corner of your story in the days to come. It is not betrayal, it is urgency. Their motive was not to expose you but to shield you from what they believed was greater danger. They stepped into a risk by speaking your name to someone who holds more authority than they themselves could carry. Type Amen 666 to acknowledge the shift and to cover yourself with divine protection. The powerful person now aware of you is not one who ignores matters of concern. Their presence alone changes outcomes because their word carries weight in places your own cannot reach. You must understand that when influence is stirred, consequences follow quickly. Yesterday, a timeline began that is now unfolding, and the stages of this timeline will soon cross into your everyday life. The first stage is silence, the period when nothing seems to happen but everything is being prepared. You are in that stage now, where hidden arrangements are forming around you. The second stage will be contact, moments where unexpected voices, calls, or invitations pull you into places you did not plan to go. These moments will test your composure. They will also reveal where protection lies and where hidden agendas seek to press against you. Archangel Michael says, "Do not tremble when contact comes." The stage is set not to destroy you but to realign you. Those who are watching have seen more than you realize, and their response is already building toward your protection, even if it feels invasive. Type Amen 777 to receive strength for the contact stage that is about to come. The days will not unfold slowly, they will come in waves. One piece of information will trigger another, one meeting will lead to the next, and soon the chain that began yesterday will become a sequence you cannot pause. This is why you must remain steady. The ripple is no longer small, it is becoming a current. Once a current begins, it drags everything with it, both the strong and the fragile. Your role is not to resist but to move with wisdom, knowing that the current is being watched and guided from above. The person who worried about you still holds a mixture of relief and fear. Relief because they spoke and released the burden, fear because they know the storm is coming. They may even step back now, watching quietly, because their part has already been played. Yet you are not abandoned. Every action they took is now being amplified by forces greater than them. The powerful person they approached has networks, connections, and resources that are now focused on your situation, whether you ask for it or not. Type Amen 888 to declare that you are not abandoned, even as the ripple becomes a current. Do not underestimate the seriousness of this moment. Influence can expose, but it can also shield. It can bring danger close, but it can also dismantle the very structures that threatened you in silence. What unfolds next will depend on how you stand within the movement. Your steadiness will determine how authority responds to you. If you stand frantic, they will sense weakness and press harder. If you stand firm, calm, and consistent, they will read it as truth and grant favor where others expected judgment. The unseen hand of heaven is not leaving you unguarded. What you see as chaos is alignment, what you fear as exposure is revelation, what you think is pressure is actually preparation for freedom. It is uncomfortable, but it is divine. Archangel Michael says, you are not walking through this alone. Protection has been assigned to your name since before yesterday, and now it is manifesting in new ways. Accept it with faith, and know that no hand raised against you will remain unchallenged. Type Amen 999 to step into divine assurance as authority aligns with protection. The ripple from yesterday's decision has not faded, it is widening, gaining speed and influence with every passing hour. You are living in the aftershock of words that carried weight, words that cannot be erased or silenced. The one who worried about you set something into motion that will keep unfolding until it reaches its final destination. You may notice small signs already appearing, unexpected calls, sudden changes in tone from people near you, or an unusual silence from those who once spoke freely. These are signals that the influence of the powerful person is beginning to press into the ordinary layers of your life. They are not random shifts, they are evidence that yesterday's action is alive and growing. The one who spoke your name has shifted your story from private concern into public territory. And now, whether you desire it or not, your steps are under watch. The watch is not to crush you, but to uncover what has been hidden and to protect what must remain safe. Archangel Michael says, this season is one of unveiling. No mask, no hidden motive, and no deception will remain untouched. The involvement of authority ensures that every shadow is pulled into light, and your name is at the center of this unveiling. Type Amen 1212 to align yourself with the unveiling light that shields even as it exposes. The powerful person who now holds your matter in their awareness is not idle. They are moving with precision, gathering details, and laying a foundation for what is to come. What seems silent to you is in fact filled with careful preparation. Preparation is always the most dangerous stage because it cannot be seen until it erupts into action. You are in that stage now, the silence before movement, the calm before the rush. Every moment feels heavy because unseen eyes are observing, recording, and deciding. The one who worried about you has fulfilled their part. Their decision was a doorway, and once opened, the doorway cannot be shut. You must now walk through what they have unlocked, even though the path feels unfamiliar and steep. Archangel Michael says, strength is being poured into you for this walk. What looks like exposure is actually strategy. You are not being left vulnerable, you are being positioned for a breakthrough that can only come by passing through pressure. Type Amen 1313 to receive strength for the walk through this doorway. Do not be surprised if people around you begin to treat you differently. Influence always shifts perception, and once your name is connected to a powerful person, it changes how others see you. Some will draw closer out of curiosity, while others will distance themselves out of fear. These shifts are not betrayals, they are revelations. They are showing you who belongs to the next chapter of your journey and who cannot walk with you any further. Pay attention, for these responses are part of the divine sorting taking place in your life. The authority now aware of you is not just interested in information, they are interested in outcomes. They will measure, calculate, and decide how to move matters forward. This means you must remain steady and consistent, so their decisions tilt in your favor rather than against you. Archangel Michael says, this is not a time for panic. It is a time for wisdom, patience, and inner strength. Allow the pressure to refine you rather than break you, for refinement produces clarity and resilience. Type Amen 1414 to receive wisdom as refinement begins. The person who worried about you may now step back into silence, but their influence has already done its work. Do not look for them to carry you further, they have handed the matter over to hands far stronger than their own. You are no longer in the care of their concern, you are now in the orbit of power. Orbit is not accidental, it pulls you in, even against resistance. And you are now within the gravitational pull of authority that will not let you drift away unnoticed. Your life is anchored in a process that is both frightening and purposeful. In the coming days, new faces will emerge, carrying messages or opportunities tied to what was spoken yesterday. Do not dismiss them. Each appearance is part of the chain, linking yesterday's action to tomorrow's outcome. Archangel Michael says, you are under divine watch, even as human authority circles your life. What begins as concern will end as transformation. Nothing about this chain is random, it is divinely woven. The powerful person who now knows about you is not ordinary. Their influence bends the flow of events, and when they move, others adjust accordingly. You may not see their hand directly, but you will feel the results of their decisions pressing into your path. The atmosphere is charged, as though a storm is hovering without yet breaking. This is not just energy, it is alignment. The moment has been crafted carefully, and you are standing inside of it, whether prepared or not. Archangel Michael says, do not shrink back. What feels overwhelming now is actually preparation for elevation. Heaven has permitted this exposure not to destroy you, but to lift you through a fire that others cannot withstand. Type Amen 16:16 to remain lifted above destruction as fire tests your strength. The one who worried about you may now be restless, wondering how you will react when you discover what they did. Their action was not small, it was life-shaping. They placed you on a stage you did not choose, but a stage that destiny demanded. They could not sleep under the weight of your name. Their thoughts circled endlessly until the only choice left was to hand the matter into stronger hands. And now, because of that, your story has shifted into a narrative of power. Do not despise them for what they did. Even if fear drove them, it was still love that gave them courage to act. And sometimes love requires risking misunderstanding to preserve what it seeks to protect. This is why you must walk forward with clarity, not bitterness. The energy behind yesterday's action was not against you, but for you. And in time, you will see that their choice removed dangers you could not face alone. Type Amen 17:17 to honor the love hidden in their courage. The silence around you is deceptive. It may feel like nothing is happening, but silence in such seasons is heavy with unseen movement. Meetings are taking place, conversations are unfolding, and strategies are being set, all with your name present. The powerful individual has not dismissed what they heard. They are measuring, deciding, and preparing their next step. The more they prepare, the greater the impact when they finally move. You are in the waiting chamber of destiny. And though the waiting is uncomfortable, it is purposeful. This chamber is where strength is built, where clarity forms, and where alignment secures itself. Archangel Michael says, you are being protected even as you are being observed. The eyes upon you cannot touch what heaven shields. The unfolding may test you, but it will not destroy you. Type Amen 18:18 to rest under divine protection while eyes observe your steps. The days ahead will not be ordinary. The chain that began yesterday will reveal itself piece by piece, as if peeling back layers. Each layer will bring new clarity, new decisions, and new responsibility. You will see alliances shift, those who once ignored you will now take notice. Those who doubted you will hesitate. And those who sought to harm you will find their intentions tangled in the very net they wove for you. The exposure you feared will not be shame, it will be truth. And truth, though heavy, is never destructive to those who walk with integrity. It clears the air, cuts through shadows, and reveals what must be known. The involvement of power ensures that nothing remains hidden forever. And in that revelation, you will see both the weakness of your enemies and the strength of your protection. Type Amen 1919 if you accept truth as shield rather than threat. The powerful person is not alone in their awareness of you, they have already drawn others into the circle. Your name is being spoken in places you have never entered, and your presence is being weighed without you standing there. Do not fear this, it is part of the unfolding. Their influence will stretch far and touch areas you did not imagine. Documents, voices, and hidden matters will all be drawn into light because of the decision made yesterday. This is no longer small, it is a movement gaining momentum. The ripple has become a wave, and the wave is headed straight toward you. But waves are not meant to drown you, they are meant to carry you into deeper waters. Though overwhelming at first, the wave is taking you toward a shore that is safer than where you stand now. Archangel Michael says, the wave cannot crush you, because you are carried by divine strength. The pressure may feel unbearable, but it is shaping you for a higher ground. Trust the current, for heaven's hand directs it. Type Amen 2020 to rise above the wave and let it carry you safely forward.